Hello! Hello, hello! Oh my god, where's the chat? What did I do to the chat? What's going on? There it is. Just took a bit, just took a bit. Hello, guys! Thank you so much for joining today. I see you, Jose. It's okay, don't worry. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for saying hello. Hello, 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 buddy. Hello, Tomate. I see Neko Arc. I know who you are. Gigi. Hi, Doki. Ata, Doki. Doki Soth, Ata Soth. Hello, Lat. Hi, Broya. Hello, Abe. Hi, FNAFan. Hello, Gabe. Thank you so much for being here, even though it's super late where you live. We have Owls. Hello, Owls. Welcome, welcome. Mane, oh my god. Hi, how are you? Voice reveal, voice reveal, and an interaction all in one. All at one time. Hello, how are you? Hello, hello, my little shrimplings, my little shrimp siblings. Thank you so much for being here, for joining. I tried amping up the music a little bit this time. I think it was a little bit too low. I can wait to Anna to Gordon Ramsay my drawing. That's not the point here. That's not the point here. I wanna make that clear. So today we're here. We are. I wouldn't say there's like so many people I think that already do like corrections. My one and only goat, Naoki Saito, has a lot of videos on that on his channel. He calls them, how is it? It's like vanity correction, right? These are not because you're drawing bad, but it's because you want to draw better, right? My nickname translates from Russian as sprat in tomato sauce. What's a sprat? Sounds like a funny name. Receive beat tomati. Oh, hi, Moshpit. Welcome, welcome. So, yeah, I don't want you guys to think. Thank you so much to everyone who sent their submissions. In spirit of the activity, I also have a drawing that I made myself. It's my first Monica drawing from back in 2017. So, almost 10 years ago. 9 years ago. Oh my god, does time fly? So yeah, we're not gonna I'm not gonna say, you know, learn to draw better or something like that. I'm just gonna give you some pointers, some tips that you can take right now, right this instant, for your future drawings, so that you can communicate your feelings better, right? Through the drawing. I sent mine, yeah, I saw. Monica, I did say Monica. Believe it or not, back when I first spread is a small fish. Oh, okay. Just draw better 5 head. Yeah, I think that's the tip I told you, Solis. So many years ago. Krill issue instead of skill issue. But yeah, I know studying can be tough, especially for those of us who have a shrimp job, right? Doing long-term studies for art, which is, you know, maybe an aspiration for some, a hobby for others. It can be difficult to know what you're doing and what could be better, right? All that you see is that you're not getting maybe the results that you want compared to other artists that you like. So we're gonna be talking about that. Why is the stream so laggy for me? I have no idea, but on my end it seems like everything's fine. I'm so sorry. Living in Latam, that's the internet. Oh, hello, Coco. Welcome, welcome. So, we're gonna begin. I saw a common theme, yes, theme, with the submissions, and including mine too. And I went to sleep, and I was like, thinking all of these cool ideas that we could do today. It seems like the theme today is gonna be composition. Composition is basically how things are arranged in a space. Let me get you composition. So I should have prepared some materials. All I did was like put in the drawings. Now, a lot of people think that composition or all of these. I'm gonna put the. Let me open this. And let's change this one. Aha. So a lot of people, when they think composition, they immediately think to do these things, right? Here we have Google Chrome, which is like, how am I supposed to use this for my drawings, right? The Fibonacci spiral, or what the hell does this mean, right? This one is like, yes, I know about quadrants, I know about like the points of interest and stuff, but how can I actually apply it to my drawings? So the whole point for composition in both in all of visual media, illustration, photography, movies as well, is hello Dotrap, welcome. Ratio that is golding. The whole point is to help capture a specific feeling and to help the viewer, the person who is your audience, the person that is looking at your art, know what should be the main point in your illustration. What do you want to focus on, right? So for the first one, I have my own Monica drawing. This is ancient. This is way before I had my drawing tablet. I drew this on my phone. I was the big ears. If you were around on the internet in 2015, 2016, the big ears and the big hands were a big hit. Right? I still really like them. I love the Betty Spaghetti look. But as you can see, it's just a little. Wait, she was supposed to be connecting the ancient shrimp paintings, ancient cave paintings. She was supposed to be like putting her finger up against the glass to like kind of connect with you, right? Like how someone maybe put on their hand and stuff. For me, was like a little finger because she's trying to be cute, right? And she has like one of her little eyes closed, cheekily, like, haha, hello, here I am real, right? And I'm in your phone. But looking at this image now, 10 years later, I look at it and I said, it looks like she's just saying one. It's like, one of what? Right? I bet that before I gave you that explanation, you were just being like, oh, maybe she's saying like, no. Or maybe she's going like, oh, hello, I have a point to make, right? So that's the point with composition. Since it has a very normal, like straight on character in the middle composition, you don't really get to know what the drawing is supposed to mean. L. Oh yeah, she also has her thumb out. It looks like she's calling you a loser as well. The Trilobit archives. So, what is exactly the problem with this? Me, that I am here and I'm telling you, is that now looking at it, it doesn't communicate what I actually wanted it to communicate. And that's a problem because, like I said, so many people can get many different meanings. And that's not the point, right? I'm not making fun of them. I'm not doing a funny meme. I was supposed to do a funny, cute little image. So what is happening here? I'm going to lower the opacity. As you can see, right, we have our cool grid right here for quadrants. Now, everything, in theory, everything that you want to pay attention to put attention on in a drawing, photography, or recording should be either on these little like tangents, these little points right here, this one, acá, or in one single row. I think it's column, one single column of the quadrant. In my case, everything of the drawing is in the middle. Right? And the hand here is maybe a little bit here in the point of interest. But like I said, it's maybe well framed, but it doesn't help with the message. What I would do nowadays, if I wanted to, would be just putting more emphasis into maybe the distance between herself and the finger, like she's actually reaching out to you. In this one, since I drew the hand so close to her, like so much like an L or like a 1, it doesn't really look like she's touching in front of her. So we have to push that direction, and we can do that by cheating composition, right? You don't really need to be a master in perspective at this. Rule of thumb, things that are closer are bigger. Things that are furthest are smaller. So let's try applying that. And I'm not even, because like I said, the point is not to say redraw this entirely, right? Change your style or anything. So I'm not even going to like try and change too much of it. Like I'm not gonna redraw it how I would draw it today. Where foreshortening, Poppy from 10 years ago had no idea what foreshortening was, and it really scared her. Understand? I think lots of us can relate, right? So we have our image right here. First of all, putting a lot of black into like nearby a character, as I've come to learn, it's a little tricky. Because if it's not applied well, the black will call more to your eye, since it's, you know, a darker color than the actual figure. So first, I would go away with all of that. Back then, I was trying to fill up the square grid. If you can believe it, Instagram back then did not have the option to do drawings that were not a square. So everything I drew was in a square. Nowadays, you know, we know that's not true. Even if it was a square, I think it could have done better. Just don't... If you're gonna use shapes, don't use them as filler, because it does show. Honestly, full black in general, aside from harsh shadows, is a big no-no for me. I think it totally has applied, like, you can totally apply it. One of the big masters of old, Caravaggio, used pitch black in a lot of his paintings, and it communicates a lot of, like, grief and very strong, like, feelings of like, sadness and desperation. So I think if applied with light and stuff, black definitely has a way, but if you are just using black to make kind of like filler, like I said, like how I did with this drawing, then it's not very recommended. Because like I said, others can tell. It's like you had nothing else to do with the drawing, and you know, you just filled it with little things around it. So let's do this. I still even have my old username here, Alien Goo. Wow. So first of all, we're gonna move the hand just like this. Let's make it a new layer. New, yeah, cut. And let's put it a little bit more towards the camera. I think we can totally make it, since she's just like standing straight, we can play a little bit with the pose. Instead of her going like this, we can maybe make her go like this, right? Like this. Very cute. So, rule of thumb for things that are closer than us. If this is this size around here, like almost as big as her face, then it needs to be even bigger. Maybe even as big as her head. Depends on how close you want it to be. Right? We have this. And maybe we can do something like this. Now, for poses to look natural, I totally recommend that you try to do the pose, because this one, for example, looks cute, right? It's like she's touching it, but look for her hand to be like that instead of it going like this, which is how we usually reach out to things. It would have to be like this with like the elbow inside, right? And it's just, if you try to do it, it's a little bit like, ugh. That hurts. So in reality, we would need to do it like this, like how we actually would reach out to things. And then so that it doesn't cut too much into the head, we fix a little bit of the pose. Now this pose, nothing wrong with it, just that it's straight, just straight on, right? And it's like, is that bad? Not necessarily. But you can do it much more interesting and fun to look at. Because that's the point, I think, of illustration, right? It's maybe not fun, right? You want to make the person feel something. You just don't want them to go and look at it and go, ah, nice picture, right? You want them to look, ah, this is the cutest picture I've ever seen, or ah, I can feel like I'm really there, right? So in order to change that, you have to exaggerate. Don't be afraid of exaggerating. There is no exaggeration that is bad at all. You know who does exaggeration? Well, Studio Trigger. And Studio Trigger, sometimes it can get like really stretched out and really grotesque and the proportions and everything. But by God, if it doesn't catch your attention, even if you're not a fan, you go and you go, wow, that is striking, right? So let's change this a little bit. What I've come to learn is that you should always try to look for an S shape. Not necessarily that your head has to be here and your torso has to be here, right? This looks like a really a shrimp in a lot of in a need for a lot of help. Just that your composition, right, in your drawing, you should be able to see a line that flows through it, right? This way or this way, it doesn't matter. Just look for that flow. Look for flows that are curvy, because they'll usually call more to attention than straight. But that doesn't mean straight elements, you know, don't have a place in your illustration. Invincible wobbly animation. And those became a meme, didn't them? Like, you gotta say, you'll say whatever you want, you don't like them or something, but you look at them and you go, ha ha ha. And that one's also like, it's like a lot of exaggeration, maybe for what the author actually wanted to do. Maybe it was a little bit too much. But it caught people's attention and now everyone's doing it, right? Sometimes we can't control, once our art is out there, we can't control how others may see it. It's better to just throw it, release it into the world and see how far it can go. So let's look for that S that I was talking about earlier. Let's grab her head. And in here, I'm gonna cut off her head from her ponytail in the back. If you didn't know this was Monica, you would be like, where's her ponytail? If you, like, what is that thing in the back? Does she have a ponytail or something? Now that you know that it's Monica, you go, oh yeah, that's the ponytail right there. But it's hard to see, right? Now, let me hide this a little bit so I can grab this part of the hair. Layer, new layer, yeah, cut. All right. So this it's hiding a little bit too much of the face here. So what I'm gonna do, and I also, let's cut off the body, you know, like, just because we're already here. Layer, new layer, yeah, cut. Let's move her a little bit away from the hand. Let's hide this for a little bit. Right? And let's try to play a little bit with her shoulders. Now, Solly said in chat something that is real. And it's something that can help you up until a certain point. It's a good thing. It's a good thing to keep in mind. That is that when you're drawing a figure, your shoulders and your hip, your shoulder line, right, and your hip line should be tangents and not parallels. And it does help, like I said, up until a certain point, because as you can see, I was able to do this and my figure is still straight. You have to play with a lot more than just your shoulders and your hips. It is a good thing to keep in mind if you want to push a pose and make it like more dynamic. But it's not the end-all be-all of art tips, you know? Just knowing this, it's half the battle. Monica forgets to put her bow the rest of the clock. Who are you? Who are you and what are you doing in our club? Okay, so S shape, S shape. We can do this, or we can do this. I think I like this a little bit more because it's a little bit more coquettish, more flirty, like, ooh. You know, like, ooh. With the finger. Oh, I'm reaching out. Oh, I'm real. And we fix the position of the head. Right. Oh, let me fix. Well, let's color in her hair a little bit at least, so that, you know, we can tell that whole. And let's draw the rest of her bow. Just because now our composition is bigger and we can fit more into the screen. Right? Now her hair, you could also move her hair for it to look like for it to push the flow, the dynamic a little more. I think it's nice to keep the illusion that things are actually happening inside the drawing and it's not just like a cute mannequin pose. Right? And we can complete the hand a little bit. Let's see what I was doing here. Probably something like this. And like this. Let's color inside of it. Just like this. And now remember how I said let's leave her ponytail for last? Is because once you have this, and let's say I'm gonna do it. What? Let's stick to the square relation that we have here. Let's make a little square and pretend like that's our background, right? What we want. Let's make it pink like the original. Why pink? I think we can get into the themes of color, topics of color and stuff. Pink is basically green, but not green. It's like a weird optical illusion. It's a color theory. It's part of color theory. Pink is like the color of microwaves and things like that. The Wi-Fi waves are pink and stuff. It's green that reflects the light different. So I thought back then that it went really well with her eyes. And now that I think of it, I think it does. I think it still does. So let's keep the pink because it's also Doki Doki color. And oh, oopsies. I just realized I painted it. There. Now it's separate. Let's fill a little bit more of the screen. Let's not be afraid to fill up the screen. The difference between a bad, like, cut composition and a good one is that the good ones know exactly what they want to cut. Right? So make it intentional that you're cutting something and not necessarily that you are... that you're just trying to fit the drawing in a big way. Right? In this one, for example, let's make a little group here. There. In this one, for example, the bow would cut off, and it's fine because it's intentionally cut off. If you keep your drawing like this, where the edges are almost touching, the drawing is almost touching the edges, it's gonna look, I don't know, it gets like an itchy feeling, like it's like when the DVD icon doesn't reach the corner completely, right? When you're like that DVD idle screen and it's like about to hit it and then it doesn't. It feels like something doesn't bode, like something could be better. So just don't be afraid to cut off parts that people know are there, like the bow or like this part of the sleeve, right? If it helps your drawing be a little better. And now, let's complete part of the body here. If we wanted again to push the pose, we could play with her elbows a little more, right? Follow what we said earlier, that this line here could be like this, and she could have her little elbow go up, pushing the pose as much as it will give. Ask of that, of you and your drawing. Say, how far can I actually go? And don't be afraid to explore it, because that's sometimes when cool things happen. And that's when you go like, I could draw like this, right? It's when you do new things and you dare to try something different. Now, the ponytail. For Composition as well, right? Our main focus here is Monica. So the ponytail can help, and it's gonna act like an arrow the same way. If you notice, the hand has been doing this time. And point towards your subject. Points towards the main character of your illustration, right? The finger, even though it's touching you, and we're gonna add maybe some shadow to like help sell that, it's also pointing towards Monica. And we can do the same with the ponytail and make it into like an arrow. So most people, this is value it's value planning, basically, that your drawing has depth, or how to communicate that your drawing has depth. Things closer to the camera, as they are big, they're also darker because they create shadow on the lens, and things that are furthest away, they kind of get lost the same way they would in a camera, right? They become lighter, they become blurrier. Now, a pigtail is not necessarily a ponytail. It's not necessarily like super far away. It's like right here on the head. So we can make it lighter, but also not like as light that it looks like it's behind, like super behind her. And again, let's make it work as an arrow for her. We can make it... Now, this is purely personal preference, right? Like how you want the hair to move and stuff. You can add these like little strands that are pretty anime. The rule with these little strands is you go thick, thin, and then thick again. That's it. That's how people get these really cool anime looking strands. Since we're making it lighter, since it's in the background, the line art wouldn't be completely black. In this case, it would be maybe some more of a grayish, still darker than the ponytail. And we can also make it a little lighter, right? Because it's not the main focus of the illustration, but also it's not like, it has to be there. It's not part of the background, right? And let's add like the hair has, maybe some of these. And now, for the final selling point, we put a little bit of shadow on her finger, which means it's touching the glass of the screen. Where the hairbands at? What a good question. That's a good question for Poppy of 10 years ago. No hairbands for Monica. And we make it dark, and now she's touching the screen. To make it a little bit like sell, I think better, to make it look like she's actually trapped, we could add a vignette. Not pure black, right? Something lighter. And we can use a soft brush for this. Lots of people are afraid of soft brushes, because it's just a soft brush that's not used correctly. It's gonna give an illusion of this, right? Like it's trapped. Instead of, and you know, sometimes that's not what you want. Right now we're using it so that Monica looks like she's inside something, inside a screen. Add cracks to the screen to sell it more. Oh yeah, we could totally do that. And it gives another tone also, right? It looks a little bit more forceful. If she's reaching the screen so hard that it cracks, it's like she's looking nonchalant, but in reality, you know, she's really trying to break through, like in the game. Wait, make less focused parts of the body's line art a different color. Yes. Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. You can see that happening with a lot of illustrations. Let me show you. In League of Legends, for example, the splash art that League of Legends has. League of Legends splash art. Notice here, for example, let's open the image. Oh my god, that's a tiny image. Let's try to get to it. Oh my god, it's one of those fancy ones. Okay, yeah, no. This one works. Check out how very quickly, right, with this art. Notice how her skin here right here, check out the colors, or here for example, is like brighter than the one that's over here. Brighter in saturation. You see that? This is way lighter. The little color is here, and when you grab one from like her hand, it's saturation. Let's make this. If you add a color layer, a white layer with the color mode on, you can see these values clearly. Well, better, right? You can see that these parts right here of her head, of her hands, of her main body, right, look a little bit more defined, a little darker than the ones here. You see how the leg just blends in here? Right here is like, where's the leg? What's happening here? And it's for that, to sell the illusion of death. This leg is here, and then it goes away behind her other leg. So you don't need to define it. The illusion, right, if we turn off all of this, it's still there. You know that her leg is behind, but not because the person drew the actual leg behind it. It just faded into, and your brain just fills in the blanks. That's one of the wonders of illustration in comparison to photography, for example. You don't have to do every detail. You just have to let people fill in the blanks sometimes. And it's the same thing with this leg here, right? This leg is going further away, and notice how it goes dark, and it goes lighter, 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 until it fades away with this little cloud. You know the leg is there, and you know that it's going further back from the main body because it's going lighter. It's honestly awesome. Once you start noticing in illustrations, you cannot stop noticing. Like, you cannot stop looking at it. For example, in this one, her skin with the light is like this one, and this one, I guess it's a little more. But yeah, that is like within the same figure, you have these parts that go lighter and they like fade out, oh so softly, and give the illusion of depth. Right? This tail, for example, right here, is way darker than the tails that are back here. Because the tails that are back here, yes, they help with the overall composition, right? But this one is closest to the camera, and just for that, it's gonna be darker. And again, we can see, if you notice, what we were talking about earlier. Arrows. This one goes down, and it points to her. This one goes to here, and it points to her. This one points to her. This one, well, they point to this thing. This one points to here, maybe so that you don't lose the fact that there's people here. But you see how the tails flow so that it tells us what the important part of this drawing is? And it's this one. And it forms a little heart. So yeah, that's how you can use value and lighter colors for your drawing to help guide your viewers' art. Basically make things make sense with the directions they go. When you say it, and right, saying it is like half the battle. But once you really notice it, and you start applying it consciously to your illustrations, poof, the growth that you have is so high, so imminent. And like I said, with very little adjustments that you can do to your art right now, you can totally make it like that. Okay, let's do Solis's suggestion of adding cracks to the screen. Oh, still in the soft brush. There. Maybe we can make them a little bit like extra arrows. I guess it depends with the art style that you have. In this one, I don't know. I think I'm not a big fan. Maybe we could go a little bit... Oh, thank you, Sonic Bean. Welcome, welcome. Maybe we could make it a little bit more dramatic by adding like some glare to the screen. Bigger brush, bigger brush. Oh, bigger. Not that big. Yeah. Like shine. And she's breaking it. And we can see the cracks here. I wouldn't recommend having anything blow into her face. Well, go into her face because it kind of breaks. Maybe this one that we did was fun. It cuts like right into her. And we do maybe like little holes in the glass. And there we go. We can make maybe the green a little bit more bright so that it looks a little bit more otherworldly. And we can make the top part darker so that it looks more yandere. Right? We can get rid of the eye shines. And there we go. Now let's look at the piece that we started with. We started with this, right? Just Monica standing there. Oh, hi, Ryder. Yes, this is Monica. Looks pretty cool with a fourth-wall break. Yeah, it really does. So this is Monica, right? This is our very first Monica. And this is what we were able to make today. I did not change the style. I did not really redraw everything. But now, the intention of what I wanted to make is clearer in the newer picture. And just for that, I think it's way more eye-catchy. Monica Boop. Oh, hi, Blue Apple. Welcome. Right? We applied the arrows pointing towards her. We have bright contrast of color theory with the green and the pink. We have the effect, the vignette effect that makes her look trapped. And then the cracks that also run through her face, showing us that she's not what she seems in the game. Monica's like Griffith, because also did nothing wrong. I have strong opinions on that. I have strong opinions on Griffith. Don't get me started. Because Harris, right now, for those who don't know, I guess I should mention it. Harris is your other shrimp big sister. She's your legal big shrimp sister. She's my wife. IG story, chat, mod. Hello, Maud. Thank you so much for being my wife. Shout out to Harris, to AG's story. Yeah, she's a big fan of Berserk. And I know little tidbits. And she explained to me the story and I was horrified. I cannot understand how anyone likes Griffith as a character. I love how your model pointed at me. I'm pointing at you. Right there. She plays League. Yeah, she plays League. Don't bully my wife. So yeah, arrows. Cool. Fourth wall break. With all of the cracks, and then we also crack into her face, which is like, she's not what she seems. I can be your angle or your devil fanart. Yeah, for sure. And, you know, we also applied values here to show what things are closer and furthest away from the camera. So that's it. That's what I would do today. That's what I would recommend to Poppy of 10 years ago. Hello, chat. And I think it just makes it way more interesting. And now we can surely tell that she's trying to touch the screen. And she's trying to break through it. And she's acting nice and nonchalant. Like, oh, I'm not gonna hurt you. But you don't know who else she might hurt. Like the other doggies. So that's for Poppy drawing of 2017, 10 years ago. Thanks so much. Our next submission... it was by Earphone Pretzel of his character Seiko. Seiko is his Sona that he uses on most of his media. And the one that he likes to see fan art drawn of. I remember a meme of Griffith grabbing Guts GBA and immediately eliminates all of the Pokemon in his Pokédex, even a shiny Kyogre. Oh man, that would totally happen. I can see that. I can see that. So, next drawing. The camera does not like my glove. Next drawing. We have Seiko by Earphone Pretzel. Now, Pretz has been working with me and Tuatha as well. Tuatha, if you're out there, shout out to Tuatha. For a long time, you know, just bettering his art, making little tweaks here and there. And he's come a really long way. He's come a really long way. This drawing, I think, is like the culmination of all of that. The face is super cute, super anime, right? But I can see that we can get some things better with the body. The pose itself, I like it a lot. And I can tell that it's because he uses photo reference. Photo reference, when you're learning to draw, is perfect. Some people call it a crotch. Some people call it like, oh, you're not actually learning. Don't listen to them. Don't listen to them. Drawing from imagination, you know, requires you to have a vast mind library of how things look. If you saw me in real life, you can notice I just stare at people sometimes. I would stare at you. I would stare at others. I would stare at the sky. I would stare at the floor. Because I'm studying with my eyes and making that mental library way bigger, right? By learning and noticing how things work in poses. Photo reference, when you're learning how to do anatomy, is perfect. Because you know what? The body is eldritch horror. Truly eldritch horror. Hands? I don't even have hands here. Hands are like little octopuses, and they don't move the way you expect. For one, look at your hand right now. And like move your fingers as if you were like putting them forward, right? Just put down one of your fingers in a straight angle. I'm gonna draw it because I have no fingers, right? If you do this with your hand, right? You're gonna notice your finger does not actually rotate on your knuckle here. It rotates from here on the inside. It's way more down than you think. Right? And those are the kind of little things that you don't only learn by just drawing anatomy, right? You have to look at it. You have to see it in action. Take pictures of yourself. Look at pictures of other people. Stare at people in the street right now. Right now, go out and stare at people in the street. And notice how their bodies move. And also what they communicate. When someone's sad, how did they stand? When someone's really happy, how did they stand? What did they do? Did they do a little dance and stuff? And that's gonna help you draw from imagination way faster than, you know, going in the books of anatomy and learning rigidly how each of the things should look. Anatomy will help you, but if you only do anatomy and you don't do drawing from photo reference or like visual reference, your drawings are gonna become really stiff. Just something to keep in thought. Expand your mind library. Back to this drawing. The problem, and I wouldn't call it a problem, right? Everybody draws however they want, but I can tell that Pretz wanted to go for a classic anime look. And a cool anime boy. Save 9,000 images and stash in reference folders that you open and pick something out to draw. That could help, yeah. If you don't know how to draw something, for example, with my recent drawing of Natsuki that I did, that's on my Instagram, I had no idea how the elbow looked bent like this. So I had to take a picture of myself and notice how the shadows worked and things like that. For a moment, I thought it was Red. Yeah, his design is inspired from Red and from Pokemon, I think, and Mario Bros. So he's like a cool little mashup of the games that made him himself and the games that he likes. I really like this Sona. So the thing that I noticed, if we're going for a classic anime look, is your head count, your proportions, right? Now, usually in anime, let me bring up this. Anime proportion. I love this little image so much because it really helps knowing, right? This is anime proportions. Looking at reference, if you want to draw anime, is necessary. And you can tell for a 16 to adults or tall adult, the max is 8 heads, right? And you can tell from here, let's copy this image and put it back into your Photoshop or Photoshop. For tall adults, the number of heads that go from the big head to the crotch, where your body should start to cut, is 1, 2, and 3. 3 full heads. Not counting this one. With this one, it'd be 4. And Seiko here, we have 1. Well, the top one that we don't count. We have 2. We have 3. We have 4 here. But his arms and his legs are not following where they should be. The cutoff for where the half of the body is like right at the second head half. And you can see that the elbows start to bend there as well. But in Seiko's, the elbow should be around here, right? And then this part of the hand is way too small. It doesn't, if we grab the hand here and we try to make him, let me rasterize this layer. We tried to grab the hand and we tried to make him do like touching his own shoulder. He's not gonna be able to. You see that? He doesn't reach. It's not necessarily that your proportions with your body are wrong. It's that your limbs, your main limbs, that should be the focus of this drawing, in this case your arm, is not following the proportions that you drew. Gotta jump, have fun. Thank you so much, Fulcappa. Thank you so much for joining. Thank you, thank you. Right? So, cutting this off from here, the drawing is perfectly proportioned. But then you get the full image and it's like something's not working, because some of the parts are normal proportioned, are following it, and the other parts are a little smaller, right? So it creates a little bit of like a little bit of I'd say something like something's different, like something's not right. So let's just fix that. Your proportions seem to be well, Pretz. We have your 1, 2, 3 heads, and then let's keep going. Oh. 4, then 5. Now, where should we be at 5 heads according to our reference? We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We should be right below the knees. Yeah, you have it right. You see, your problem is not as other people thought in the server, your head count. Your head count is perfectly fine. Even as a non-artist, these tips are really cool to hear. As someone who has a lot of artist friends. Yeah, think about your artist friends. Lots of them, this is what goes behind every drawing. Counting with shrimp. I know how to count. I'm showing off. So your proportions are perfectly fine. Pretz, if you feel like this drawing needs something to make better, I would just lengthen the limbs. If you notice here in our reference, in our body reference, the hands cut off at the 1, 2, 3, 4th head. Almost at the end. It's like a little bit lower than half. And here you have them cut off at we have 1, 2, 3, at number 3. So just lengthen that, right? Another little thing to notice. This is head 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7, right? So it should be at head number 4, and this is head 1, 2, 3, and your extended hand cuts right around here, where it should cut all the way down here. So let's just do that. Let's grab this part. Now, if you wanted to hold on to your pocket, right? If we follow the position first, what I would recommend you to do when you're doing your drawing first, and you have your photo reference, right? but you're doing your drawing in this stylized style, I would draw... I like to use stick figures just to like... Or stick shapes, just to notice that if I have the proportions right. This is your elbow. It'd be... Should be... Oh, it says that it should be around the start of the third head. Right here. Your elbow. 1, 2... Yeah, so... To begin with, and I had to notice your elbow is cut out a little bit too high up. So we need to lengthen that. First, we make the hand just normal pose, a normal pose, right? And this is a cool neat trick that I learned. 1, 2, this is 2, this is 1, this is 3, and this is 4. And this is where our hands should be. So a cool little trick that I learned is that you can do these simple shapes, right? Like this. Remember to also take into account the hand that you're drawing. How long your hand is and your wrist. And then once you have this, check this out. Check this out. You go, I don't know how to pose it. Now you have a doll that you can move at the joints however you need. You say, I want to make him reach into his pocket. That's all the way up here. Right now, we go here and we go, oh, the hand is way too low. It looks like Michael Jackson. So we grab it from way up. And you have your own little figurine. You don't need those expensive anime like reference figurines, right? To learn where to draw your stuff. You can just do this and you have it. So now we make sure that the hand is gonna reach into the pocket. We have to open it all the way around here. And we grab our doll again. It's a little bit further back. I overshot it. But you see, you have your doll right here. And then you just make it fit into the pocket where you want. And that would be the correct proportion. Let's do that with the other hand as well, right? We know that our shoulder is here. Our elbow should be around here at the beginning of the third head. And then the rest of the hand should go like this. Well, the rest of the arm should go like this. And then the hand. Right? I think it's a little bit more up. And same thing. We just play with our doll. We play with our stick figurine. I want him to have his hand in his pocket right here, right here. Do not pirate any software. It is bad. Be careful, you're gonna get viruses. I got my first adware trying to pirate The Stick of Truth by South Park. So yeah, don't do it. So again, we want our hand to be in this pocket right here. We have to move our doll accordingly. Maybe it's a little, it's not gonna be as fast at the first few times, but once you get the hang of it, the sky's your limit, right? You make your doll with your proportions. You don't need a 3D model. You don't need your expensive anime reference figurine. All you need is your photo reference to know, like how it would look, and then you do it. Now, things that are not considered with the doll. Depth, for example. Foreshortening. In this case, for example, if he wanted to be laid back, his arm would do something like this. Right? We have it as a cylinder. And then maybe like this. Right? And then go his hand into the pocket. Now, the doll does not account for that. You also have to play with it. If you stick so early by the doll, you're gonna get something that's really like up front. So just be careful with that, with using your doll. Your doll is only to know where you would need to have your joints. So if we put this a little lower... Oh. Forgot to grab the rest of the arm. Something like this, right? And then imagining that his arm is right there, we can make it shoot over here, right? And we can use foreshortening For this, photo reference is handy. If you have straight angles like this, your doll is more than enough. So let's fix that. Let's use these guidelines that we drew. Let's get them all together. Here. Lower their opacity. Oh, I forgot this one. Yeah, this one as well. Oh my god, I drew that on the main body. Let's erase it. Quickly. Layer, technical difficulties with the layers. Right, so let's use our doll. And let's fix the proportions of this drawing. Again, if we want something more laid back, you look at this and you go, oh man, this is like way too stiff, way too much. Is because, like I said, the doll does not account for foreshortening. The doll does not concern itself with foreshortening. So just keep in mind where your elbow should be, and you can move it, and then you can connect it with your arm, right? And we know that this little part that's missing goes right here. For this, like I said, use your photo reference, use your mind library reference. Look at everything outside. You go, and let's a little bit more over here. And there we go. He has his hand in his pocket. Foreshortening isn't real, it can't hurt you. You go, that's still way too weird, right? Nobody hangs with his hand in his pocket like that. Or he looks maybe too challenging. Again, we foreshorten. We know that this part that's gonna get cut here, it's this part right here. So we erase. There we go again. With this, we can use folds or we can use lines to help us know that there's a bunch here that we don't see. And the angle of it goes like this. If you're gonna do foreshortening, you know, if we do the divisions of the cylinder and you're gonna use foreshortening and your cylinder angle is like this, then all of the lines should also follow that cylinder. This part, for example, of the sleeve, it needs to follow the volume of the cylinder. And we practiced this, spreads. We practiced this a while ago. Right? So your cutoff should be like this. And your sleeve, we should actually be able to see the bottom part of it. Right here. And then your hand comes, your part of your arm and your hand comes out of it. Sorta, kinda. Again, these are our tips. I'm not correcting your drawing. I'm not redrawing it for you, right? If we want it a little bit more low, this, right? But you should follow the volume of your cylinder. And let's do the same with this arm right here. Let's use our doll proportions. Cuts off here. You go, oh, I want more foreshortening than what we have right now. Then play with it. With our doll, we cut it up into pieces. And we imagine the volume of our cylinder. If this one's going down, this one, if I want it foreshortened, is going up and up and up. And then our sleeve should also go up. Let's do that. Make our sleeve go up. And we'd be able to see a little bit of the hand. In this one, for example, the body is gonna help cut out this. So we're not gonna be able to see it very well. And we have our hand on our pocket. I think it'd be something more like, like this. With the thumb. And we color it. And we connect the arm. Again, visual library. How does the arm in this position how is it going to connect with the body? That's what your photo reference should be for. Now you can follow it one-on-one, but if you want to learn how to draw better from imagination, notice, look, and then think of it like that. Like, how does, in this position, the arm connect to the body? You see? Ta-da! Now, another thing that I'm noticing is that the shoulder length in this one, it encloses the head with this kind of distance. As you can see, it's not a lot. It's maybe half a head. Let's see. Half a head. Yeah, it's half a head distance between the end of the head and the start of the shoulder. And in here, we have it a lot bigger, I think, from what, like, my first glance at it. Let's see, half of the head. Oh, because I'm in another layer. So half of the head here. And yeah, the shoulders are way too big for the head. From the end of the head, it should be half a head for the shoulder length. This one's fine right here, but this one is a little bit too far back. So let's just bring it a little bit more in. For that, we need to modify all of this part of the body. Something like this. Up, 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 up. And we move our part of our doll with foreshortening. Following your reference and also remembering volume of things and objects and how they connect to each other is gonna help make your drawing look more real, more natural, right? And let's fix this part of the neck right here. Now, with the zipper, you have it like right down the middle. Let's do another layer instead before I draw more on the drawing. You have it right down the middle, but according to this, what we're doing with the shoulders here, the torso, right? It should be a little bit curved here because of how we're following the body. So let's move the zipper a little. Edit, transform, and warp. I'll put more music in a little bit. Sorry about that. Right. For it to follow the volume of the body. A little bit too much. The middle should be around here. And then we edit, form, warp. Just a little, not that much. Have your shadow here. Shadow the Hedgehog. And you have to fix your color where the actual half of the body is. Like that. And we end up with, let me hide all of our adjustment layers. This. The background is a little bit cut off. Right? There it is. In comparison to what we got sent, that is in here. I think, like this, we got it to look way more natural. And the proportion issue gets fixed, right? Oh, Latitude is heading out. Bye, Lat. Thank you so much for joining. Thank you so much. What are you talking about? Growing up is realizing Daisy is better. we have some princess Discord in chat, right? And there we go. That's what I would do. And then we have a very handsome young man, anime man, standing in front of us. We could do the same with this part of the pants, right? Follow the shape of the body. That is just nitpicky. And you should be working on your folds for your pants. But other than that, yeah. It's mainly a proportion issue, a little bit. There we go. Let's put up some more musiquita. Musiquita. Let's put synthwave, sure, why not? So that's it for Pretzes. Thank you so much, Pretz, for your submission. Thank you so much. I hope you were able to learn something new. He said, thanks a ton, Shrimp. Although this kind of served as a reminder, I still need to write up Seiko's store. His fictional crush is Princess Daisy. That's what it was. That's why we're having Princess Discourse in chat. Excellent. I think you and Princess Daisy would look so cute together. You're like, together we have red and orange in the color wheel. That's really cute. Okay. Next, drawing. Let's put this here. We have Sonic's rocking out, but, well, hopefully Sonic will see this. I know Sonic right now is at shrimp work. He's really hard. Sonic, not Sonic Min, Sonic Speed 1. Or that Sonic OC. The name of, this is his green dress Monica, iconic. I think everyone in the Twitter DDLC space has drawn her at least once. I can point him to the VOD later. Excellent. Thank you so much, Freds. I'm going in the order of submissions. If I don't get to your submission, it's okay. This is gonna be a staple segment in the channel. So we're gonna get to it next stream. Alright? That's a reference to the OST cover for some of the Sonic OST. Sonic with a guitar. Oh yeah, I had no idea. A ver. Sonic OST. Sonic OST. Sonic with guitar. Oh yeah, there he is. This one, right? I see. Oh yeah, you can tell that he tried to follow it. I can see the shape of the hand and the shape of the guitar. Now, what is going on with this? Remember when we were talking about values earlier? We got the color. Sonic here, Sonic Speed 1 is using values for characters and elements rather than using them according to how close or to how far away from the camera they are. What happens with this? When we look at the image like this in black and white, Monica obviously stands out. Monica is beloved, right? We can see Bendy in the background, but Sonic himself gets so lost. His color here is so similar to the ones back here, right? And he kind of looks, if we look at it in black and white, since he's so covered in darkness, but he's behind Monica, it kind of looks like he's, I mean, I don't know. I know maybe I'm reaching here. Yeah, he looks like a villain. Yeah, he looks a little evil. He looks like he's like looking at Oz like, haha, I'm gonna shred some tunes from hell, right? Maybe that's not a bad thing per se, but he, in comparison to how much bathed in light the other characters are, he does look like he's evil. Very sinister, exactly, especially with that little smile. So, this is a matter of values. Let's see what we can do. What's going on here is that Sonic is using a very, very deep shade of blue, very saturated. Now, colors don't necessarily get darker if you go from like up and down, like this. They also go darker if you go from left to right. This is why, I don't, maybe you've seen some anime tutorials on how to draw and how to color. Most of the artists stay here in this range in the color wheel. I'm doing movement. They stay right here, right? Because from here, it's easier to make something darker than it is to make something lighter when it comes to just visually like stand out to you, right? I do get how he intended Sonic to look like looking at the reference. Yes, yes, yes. So what we have here is that because of the values, Sonic is looking very dark because his blue is super saturated. It's all the way down here to the right, and we have to bring him a little bit more in around the middle of the color spectrum, right? So let's do that. Let's cut off Sonic. With this, for a split second, I thought of just like recoloring him. But if you have this and your drawing's already done and you have no idea how to fix it, you can just use an adjustment layer. And we will be using the hue saturation and probably a levels layer. And I'll show you how to use them in a moment. Let's cut off Sonic here. We're not including his guitar. And let's make layer, new layer, yeah. Oh. Sure, be a copy. I forgot to rasterize this. Rasterize layer. Where are you? There you are. Okay, now yeah. So we go, depending on which program you use, just notice how detailed the eye is. Yeah, it's a really cool effect. Sonic has a really cool Sonic going on here, but since he's so dark, he gets like so lost with everything else, right? Monica obviously stands out. So we're gonna go in your program of choice, and we're gonna find the hue saturation filter. We're gonna make it a clipping mask to the object that we're going to modify. In this case is Sonic. Let's make the saturation way less. No, he's already, we go black and white, he's already lightening up a little. And lightness, we go a little up. Now you see the image is like washed out, right? The hue is fine. Look at it in black and white, but we're recovering him. We're recovering him. Now, after we've done this, we go out again to adjustment layers and we go levels. Levels, what it does, for those of you too scared to use it, I know I was in the beginning, is basically telling your drawing how dark should the darks be, how light should the lights be, and how in the middle should mediums be. So on the utmost left, you have your darks. In the utmost right, you have your lights. How light do you want them to be? And then in here is the middle. If we go towards the darks here, right, they go lighter. And if we go towards the lights here, they go darker. So let's adjust this a little bit to recover some of Sonic's, maybe without the hue saturation, honestly. Let's recover some of Sonic's color. Oh yeah, without the hue saturation. Let's do the hue saturation at the end. But first, let's use levels. Right? he's still very saturated, and that's what hue saturation comes for. I'm sorry, my shriblings, I went through it in the opposite way. Sonic is already a little bit getting up out of the thing. Let's change not lightness, but only saturation. Right? We're bringing him straight from the shadows, little by little, little by little. Let's go again with our levels. Get lighter, 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 lighter. He also uses a filter for AI. So it inputs colors weird into his art so he doesn't get it stolen for AI. Right? Here we are, little by little. And Sonic, it seems, we brought him from the shadows now. Now, he still looks a little bit too close to the background. And what we can do is using values, again, how we learned. Things in the back have to be lighter than the things that are in the front. So changing Sonic is not enough because he's blue and he's big, a big blue blob. We also need to modify our background. So let's do that. Let's grab all of our background. Let's cut all of our characters to the best of our ability. We have Bendy here, rocking out. And we have the background here. Oh, this part is already cut out, I think. Right, not the floor. We just want to change the very, very back. The curtains, maybe. We can make them darker, I think. We go layer, new layer, yeah, cut. And we make it lighter from the inside. If you use a color layer on orange, you get the secret third Sonic brother, David. David works at CVS. He lives a very private life. Let's cut the curtains from here. Now the curtains are close-ish, but not as close as our characters. So they should be dark-ish, but not darker than them. There, new layer, be a cut. And let's bring again our trusty black and white layer. Again, you can do this by filling in with white an entire layer and then changes the mode to color mode. That way you can see your grayscales. And let's modify, let's go at them with some levels. Right? I think the curtains are okay in that tone. What's not okay is the background. So let's go get levels adjustment layer. Create clipping mask. You can do this after your drawing's done and you notice that, you know, the values are not working. But ideally, you should keep all of these in mind with the values between the background being lighter than your characters and things like that, depending on your mood. While you're drawing it and not at the very end. Like ideally, you would do a mini thumbnail and you would try out the composition and stuff. I just noticed. Since we're in a rock out and they're shining, we can totally make the shadow darker. The background darker, right? Because it's layered in shadow. Not completely black, mind you, right? And we're gonna do some things to make our character stand out so that the image doesn't become too heavy. So let's do that actually. Let's do the opposite. You see how the characters immediately stand out? All I did was make the darks darker. Before and after. And now we can see the characters so much more clearly. Right? Before, after. Before, after. Let's not make it change the background here. The sleeper agents that get triggered saying shadow next to Sonic fan. Right? There we go. And now, let's remove our color layer. Okay. It looks a little bit too saturated, I think, just for the eye. So let's go with adjustment saturation and lower the saturation a little bit. There we go. You see that difference in black and white? Sonic is back. Sonic is back from the shadows. Sonic is back from being shadow. Let's make Bendy come out a little more. He's too shy back there. In theory, he should be in that color because he's all the way in the far back. with his battery. Layer, new layer, be a cut. But I like him, and let's pretend that there's a light also shining on him. Let's add the lights at the end. Adjustments, levels, flipping mask to the character. Let's make him a little lighter. Just a little, not a lot, but it really helps bring him out from the back of the band. And we're back here. Now, I think the curtain should be a little bit less saturated. What's going on with saturation, right? Why do I keep saying this is too saturated, this is too saturated? Because if you have, it's the same, it's the rule of contrast and emphasis, right? If you have, let's say, a white room. Oh, okay, that's blue. If you have a white room, right, and you put a black dot, people are gonna look at the black dot, right? But if you have many dark blobs, then how are people supposed to know which one to look at? That's why we use values. And that's why we also use saturation. If we have a dot that is bright red, the way we can make it so that people look specifically at that dot is by making the other dots lighter and lighter. And that way people know which dots are important, right? Based on just hue and saturation. And you know that this is the main dot. That's the main dot right there. What's happening here in this image is that we have color everywhere. We have saturation everywhere. In the curtains, and the curtains, because they're red, red is known to be one of the colors that first grabs your attention. So when I look into this drawing, the first thing I look is not Monica, Sonic, and Bendy. I look at the curtains, right? And that's a problem. And we have to make them less saturated, we have to emphasize them less, so that people know that the true main characters of the illustration is these three right there. Let's do that. Use saturation. Clipping mask. Let's make them less saturated. Now, making them less saturated, let's look at our black and white view. It is gonna make them a little lighter. So that's where we come in with our levels layer. Levels, you know, we clip it, mask it to the curtains here. Color theory, yeah. Color theory, the one that no one wants to learn. And it's not even about which colors go better with others, right? It's about emphasis and contrast. Contrast is everything to your illustration. Values, changing the values and stuff, that is contrast right there. And things that are darker and brighter are by nature, by our lizard brain, lizard, human, shrimp brain, gonna be more calling to the eye. They're gonna call our attention more. That's why the color for in traffic lights, the color for stop is red, because our brain registers immediately, right? That's why it's not blue. That's why it's not yellow. Yellow is caution because it's really bright and it looks out of place anywhere, right? So if you have something red in your illustration that is not the focus of it, be very careful using it and make sure that it does not steal away from your main character, right? So let's go in with the levels and make them darker. And let's see how it looks. Okay, yeah. I think that helps guide our eye way more. Now for the end, I included the lights here in the back as part of the background. So let's bring them back forward. Where's my layer for the background here? Let's bring the lights forward. Layer, new layer, be a cut. Let's go make our clipping masks again. Okay, we have our lights here. Now for lights and for bright objects, I like using, lots of people like using hard light. But I like using add way more. Add / glow, I think it's called on some art some art programs. Why does that part look so desaturated? What did I do there? Yeah, there's Monica there. Because of this? Yeah, it is. And black. No. I know why. It's because I forgot to change it in the layer. The other one. There you go. I like using for the lights. Back on topic. Add glow. You can have, you know, your normal where you want your lights to be there. Then you duplicate the layer, and you change the mode to linear dodge add. Yeah, it's linear dodge add or add / glow, things like that. And they immediately looks like they're glowing. You see that? Just by duplicating your layer and changing the blending mode of it. Let's play a little more. Let's grab those colors, the original colors, and make another add glow for linear dodge add glow layer. And with, I don't like, and lots of people for lights and stuff, they like using the soft brush, but I feel like that doesn't look right. If we look at stage lights, like anywhere in the world, let me open a new Chrome window. If we go on and look at stage lights, they don't really look fussy like that. Let's look stage lighted. A spotlight, I think it's called spotlight. Aha. If we look at a real spotlight, like here, it doesn't really look fussy. Like, it does look fussy on the sides, but most of it looks very, very solid, right? Because these lights are super powerful and they're super heavy. So it depends on your type of spotlight, right? But if you're on a stage, it's usually this kind of spotlight, right? It looks very solid in the beginning, at the start of it, and then it starts to fade away, but not in an airbrush way. Kind of looks like it's disintegrating instead. So let's do that with this new layer. We're gonna use a brush that is solid but has opacity, right? And we can change the flow of it. In other art programs, flow would be like something like, I think it's hardness or something like that in Photoshop. I also have it right here in hardness, but I like using flow instead. And that's what's gonna make it look a little bit like a watercolor. Hard brush and just soft brush away at the end. Yeah, that too, that can work. So let's do that. Let's hit our lights. Let's first do the overall light that's gonna come out. Let's change the opacity at the end, actually. The full light that's gonna come out of the spotlight. We have our 3 characters. Engulfed by the spotlight. And then what we can do, well, first keep it inside the composition of the image. Let's remove all of the edges that go away. Well, that go like the inverse over the drawing. We can do this, and then with another brush, you can go in and erase the parts that are gonna have shadow. Right? That do not directly hit the light. We know the top of the head would. Maybe the top of the bow would. part wouldn't really. This part of the mic would, but all of this wouldn't because it's like behind her head. And just like this, we start to shape the light. All of this with shadow. All of this would be shadow as well because it's in the back. All of this part of Monica. And now she actually looks like she's shown in by the light. Not the inner part of her hairbends wouldn't, right? I lowered the opacity just to be able to see better, but you can make it like even brighter and it's gonna show the effect even more. Let's go with Sonic now. This part would be dark. This other part of his quill too, like all of the side of his head. Because the light is like right above him. The inner part of his ears. This part of his quills, I think the top part would be... What is happening? What is happening? Okay, there we go. We're back. Sorry. The stream sometimes dies randomly. Hi, Sonic! Welcome! Welcome, welcome, welcome! We are almost done giving you art tips. Giving you tips for your drawing. We have the quills here, light, and now it go with Bendy. Again, since the light is like on top of him, it should only hit like the top of his head and stuff. The top of this little drumstick, the top of his drums. Part here would be shadow, this part here too, and this one. And let's amp up. I think Sonic actually, the light would cut off around here. Just because of the volume of his head. And his nose as well. Fine, we refine. His instrument would also be in shadow because it's like in front of him, but towards the back of the camera. This part have some light on. And then, like what Sully said, we can use a softer brush. Again, I wouldn't use a soft brush all the way. I would use something with low flow and then low hardness. And then just help break down the light at the very bottom, like this. I think it gives it a much more natural look. How stage lights look like. Do the same here with this one for Bendy. Oh. I'm cutting them because that way it's easier to not erase ones that I don't want to erase by mistake. And then with Monica as well. Something sorta kinda like this. We can add a cool effect would be adding like dusty beats. The dusty beats that that you see under the spotlight, right? I have a brush dust for that called dusty bits. You can also just draw them with like the dusty beats. You can just draw random speckles if you have a splatter brush or something. Right, and they're right there under the spotlight, and it almost looks like they're even glistening. Is there no dedicated software that has pressure control? You would need to make it yourself. There's probably one that like you could download and stuff, but not one that I know of that is there by default, like a soft eraser. Yeah, no. Right, and we would end up with the drawing like this. Let's check our values. The characters pop out against the stage. We know they're being lit up by light. We know they're playing their instrument, right? In comparison to what we started with. Make this one smaller and off to the side here. And this is what we started with. You notice I really did not change much. But one of these definitely catches your eye more than the other, right? And don't be trolls, don't be trolls. You can see that the one that catches your eye the better is the bottom one. And all we did was play with the values. We hid what wasn't important, which was the far background. And we brought forth to light the important characters. Them with their band, playing, having fun. I'm staring at the evil Sonic. Yeah, like now that we brought Sonic to light, he looks so much more like Sonic, right? When in comparison in here, he looks evil. He looks a little evil and menacing. And, you know, let's check our values. Our characters are in light in the new one. Right here, you know which of them are the important characters, right? Your composition, your values. Whereas in here, it looks like it was Monica, then Bendy, and then for some reason Sonic, evil and menacing on the side, right? And now we have a much lit stage. A much better lit stage. And a bunch of friends having fun. Shining! Yeah, they're shining! Values, and contrast, and your composition, knowing which are your main characters. In this case, for example, Sonic. I don't know if you noticed. I don't know if anyone watching it has noticed, but Sonic used a very common technique of composition, the triangle. Right? Looks. The triangle has been used by masters like Leonardo da Vinci. It is one of the most common and one of the most effective ways to composite a drawing, illustration, any sort of visual media. Triangles. And Sonic, my man, right here, you have a triangle. More like this. But there it is. That's your triangle. Your composition, awesome. All we needed to change were your values in order to focus on the characters more. Geometry, yeah. Let's go, the scalene triangle. That's it for Sonic's drawing. Thank you so much, Sonic Speed 1, for sharing drawings in the channel and with me to be able to give you my tips. I hope you found it helpful. I think anyone here right now in chat, you know, can see that we definitely better some things, and it has nothing to do with the way you drew it. It has everything to do with the way of how you're calling to attention to people using colors, using values, using light. So keep that in mind for your next drawings. Now, next drawing. Let's do next drawing. I see. Thank you for the tips. I need to look back on the stream later. Yes, you should. If you can. Now, for our next submission, we have a drawing by Royamatic. I think Sonic looks really good in the drawing too, though. Yeah. Oh yeah, Sonic looks awesome. Right here. We brought him from evil. We brought him back from evil. Our next submission is one by Royamatic. Now, he did not add why he wanted this one specifically. My guess would be maybe that is not communicating with the viewer. It's very wow. Yeah, I know, Pog. It's very difficult to pull off Sonic is gonna be the next evil hedgehog. It's Sonic.exe. We already have that. It's very difficult to connect with the audience when you have your main character look back or not even look at them, right? There's those of you who like theater or do theater will probably know that the very spoken, it's not even unspoken, the very spoken rule. Let's cut off a little bit of this drawing. The very spoken rule of like rule number 1 of stage is never give your back to your public, right? Never do it. Why? Because the connection is immediately lost and the illusion is also completely lost, right? The illusion that you're watching a scene, that you're watching something and that you're also part of it is completely lost. So there are some artists that can and have pulled it off, a lot of the classics, but most of them all do at least a little peek. And I think that's what we could add to this drawing, so that it just doesn't look like Monica sitting down and we're, I don't know, like oogling at her, like, oh, she sat down, you know? It feels wrong. It feels stalkerish, almost. So let's make it so that she's making sure that we're watching, right? Or that she's making sure that we're still with her right there in that moment. So, really, all that I would do is just twist her head a little bit. Make her look at us. Make her connect with the audience, with the people that are watching her. For that, I guess I am gonna have to redraw a little bit. Let's cut the ponytail. And the little ears. The bow. We just need to change the perspective a little bit. But yeah, I would not recommend... Oh. New layer, yeah. Ah, it's from here. New layer, yeah, cut. I would not recommend having your character look away from the camera. Because like I said, it gives... I don't know if that was your intention. Then you head to the audience. I don't know if it was your intention to make it look like we're like being creepy and looking at her really close or something. I wouldn't think so. You know, your Monica is really well drawn and she's all dressed up. I think she dressed up for the occasion. Layer, new layer, be a cut. So let's just play with that. Let's just make her actually look at us. Right, we move this and we move the bow and we change a little bit of the angle here. It transform sword. Right, let's change it to that she's like turning around to see us. Really just that. Oh, I still have opacity. Nice, the hardness. No. There. Just make her look at us, dog. She definitely dressed up specifically for us to look at her. So, you know, let's tell her that her efforts were worthwhile. Like, yeah, you know, we're watching and we like where we're watching for many reasons. Not only nefarious ones. Again, I am not changing your style. I have no interest in telling you, oh, your style is wrong or something. It's all about what you can do right now to make your drawings better. Thicker, yeah. The back of her head. I unfortunately gotta go again, but I hope you enjoyed the rest of the stream. Thank you again for the tips. Thank you so much for joining, Sonic. Thank you so much. Be sure to watch the VOD later, because we touched pretty cool things on your art, and it ended up looking really awesome. And you can do it right now. You can do it today for your next drawings. You can apply it. Let's put the shadow of the ponytail that he had right here, and also the shadow of the ponytail against the body. And let's just draw her little face. Her hair. Face. Now, when we're looking, if you try doing it in the mirror yourself, turning our head, we can only get to, our chin can only point to our shoulder. That's the max it can go. So just make sure that you're not like, you're not making her turn her head all the way like around here, because that's not gonna be humanly possible. She's gonna stay in a little bit of a 3/4 view, like this, right? Her chin pointing at her shoulder. That's as much as we can turn our heads to. It's a profile side view from the back. Let's color hair. Let's finish coloring her skin. Her little hairband here, right? We can make her eye green. This is just speculative. I've seen how you draw your eyes. You draw your eyes really cute. I'm just, you know, I want to make sure that you do make her look back. It's very important. And let's give her a little smile. Or she could also be a little embarrassed. It depends. Depends on what you want. What you want to communicate, right? I am a big fan. I'm a big fan of the embarrassed face. So let's make her a little bit embarrassed. And she's like, hey, you're not looking at anything weird, are you? Right? And her little mouth. But yeah, just make her look into the audience. Make her connect. That's gonna be the difference most of the time between your drawing being popular, or well, getting a lot of likes if that's something that you're interested in. It's gonna making your audience part of your drawing is gonna make the difference between those that don't. Between people who like drawings or who don't like drawings. Right? Oh, let's add her a little blush. I've gotten too excited now. I want to give her a little blush. The drawings, if you notice, go right now to Twitter or Instagram. Check out your favorite illustrators, and they're either doing this where all of their drawings either look at the camera or have someone like look at them, or another thing that I've seen, add storytelling. Make it not even a little comic. You don't have to make the big ass comics that some people make, right? Super detailed and stuff. All you have to do, and try it yourself. Try it today with that drawing of yours. Try to add a little bit of dialogue. Just see what happens. What I've seen happen is that your drawing blows up. Why? Because you're inviting the spectator, your audience, into being part of your drawing, right? They can see what's happening. They themselves can. It fuels their imagination to how they can connect with your drawing, right? Maybe we add a little bit of text, you know, like what I said earlier. I like using wild words, the font wild words, because it's the one that they use in manga and stuff. You know, you can make the font green. That way we know that it's Monica who's saying it. And we can go, you know, you're not looking at anything weird. ... Let's make it way smaller. Right? I think I can do it like this and then like this. Can I make it smaller from here? No. Photoshop hates me. So we have to do this. Little by little, line by line. Oh yeah, I can just making. Right, and we center it. You're not looking at anything weird. And then we can add, you know, like another little bubble. Is right? Making it a question invites your audience also to maybe use your drawing, your posts, replies and stuff to talk to her, to talk to your drawing, to interact. That's the whole point. That's why we're doing what we do, right? Because we come and paid for engagement. We want to connect with people. We want to share our drawings. To accept that we are artists is to accept that we want our drawings to be seen, that we love to exhibit ourselves, that we want people to look at what we do and like it and clap at us. So, you know, do it unashamedly, because that's the whole point. That's why we're doing what we're doing, especially if you are a social media artist, right? Maybe plastic artists who do things like concept art and who do like drawings, you know, that are just for themselves. That's another kind of art. But if you're a social media artist like me and many others of your favorites, this is what you should be doing. Connect, be unashamed about who you are, about what you're drawing, and about what you want your audience to like in your drawings. That's what I would do for this drawing. Everything else I think is drawn really cute. I can tell that the idea is that she's in a bunny suit. That translates really well. Maybe you could do the colors a little bit brighter. Making the colors this dark is not a bad thing. But like I said, back in with the other drawing, making your character brighter is gonna call to attention more, right? Than, you know, making it like blend with the background or making it like not very saturated. So we could technically make her a tad bit more saturated. Not even lighter, right? I like how she looks like tan. We could just make it a little bit more saturated. Really just a little bit. And it's gonna make it look a little bit more fun. Right, you can see in here. So yeah, that's what I would do for this drawing. Connect with your audience. Never pass the chance with any drawing that you want to do and that you want to upload specifically for likes. Never pass the opportunity of connecting with your audience and make them look at what you're drawing. You took too long. You took so long drawing and learning and trying to catch the attention of people and connect with them. Don't get ashamed at your drawing. You know, don't let it just go out with the wind. Go at it unashamedly and make people look at you. Just make people look at you. Don't lose the opportunity. Yeah, that's what I would do to try. Your advice is so cool. Thank you so much, Sonic Mean. Thank you so much. I know you said that you're not necessarily an artist yourself. I hope maybe you try it. I think we all have something to say with our art. Every drawing is a confession. And every drawing that you make is one that no one else could have done because they're not you. They don't have your vision. So this is the way I interpreted Royamatic's drawing, for example. Maybe he had another idea. Maybe he did want us to you know, have Monica not notice that we're looking at her. But then he could add another speech bubble of Monica maybe scolding us. Like, hey, what are you looking at? You know? The thing is, connect with your audience. Any chance that you can. So many of my artist friends pushed me to try it. And even said that when I did draw, it's not even that bad. There are no bad artists. Just artists with a little bit of shame of being seen. Don't be ashamed. Don't be ashamed. Communicate to the world. The world, you know, is your oyster. Sure, not everyone has to listen to you. But, you know, I think when you start creating at some point, at least for many of us artists, at least for many of me, for all my 700 shrimp that constitute me, we want to be seen. We want to share. At this point, it's not even like, oh, I want to get bigger, I want more likes. It's just a thing of, I have to draw and I have to share it with the world. It's an impulse, and you cannot stop it once you discover that you like it, that you're into it. That is my tips for Roya. Now, next one, and I think it's gonna be the last one. I am so sorry, Atta. We're gonna go back to your drawing next stream. Don't lose hope. Everyone else watching, if you want to see one of your drawings featured here and also be giving some tips on how to get better right now without having to change your style or do 37 hours of study, you know, send your art to the Discord TripTag server, the channel of Art Help Submissions, or use the hashtag PoppyHelp on social media. Atta, we're getting to your drawing next stream. Don't forget it. The next drawing that we're gonna be doing for this stream, and the last one, is this one by Atasoth. Not by Atasoth, by Owls. Sorry, I was reading the other layer name. Oh no, says Owls. Oh no. Don't worry, like you've seen, I'm not telling you, haha, this sucks, get good. No. This is how you can make your art better right now with what you already have and with what you already know. It is the jump scare Monica. I was looking in the background and it looks like it's I don't know, Owls, correct me if I'm wrong. It looks like it's like a meme. I can see I do unspeakable things, and then there's Monica as a banana. And now over here we have the creepy Monica plush. We have some I want creepy things to do something. We have Moist Critical right there. Moist Critical Snipe. Right? So very spooky. And we have creepy Monica with fire on the back. I want to do something like feels. Ah, okay. So for those of you who do not know feels, let's go on Twitter. Well, let's look. I think feels DDLC. If I look it up, yeah, you can see their account right here. So what feels does, feels is a 20-year-old artist from Thailand who does Doki Doki art. And what they do is mix up very like scary horror genre with funny things, with like memes. Also, that's a friend saying she wants to do unspeakable things to jump scare Monica. Oh my god! Your poor friend just being outed in the open with their intentions. So what feels does is it doesn't say their pronouns. I am woke like that, so I'm gonna use they them. They do a really cool drawing, maybe horror related or a little bit unsettling, and then they put memes behind. Right? It helps connect with people. We have I was playing DDLC with my boobs out. Thank you so much. Original design of DDL cast above, you know. What should you Doki Doki, and then the glitch literature club is like making horror that feels funny, but also making horror that feels a little bit unsettling at times. But you know, it's taking This is another way to connect with your audience. Add things that they know of and that they will point at and say, haha, I know that. And it's worked really well for Feels, you know, 16,000 likes and stuff. Right? This is supposed to be, if I remember correctly, like an imposter Sayori design. And, you know, it's like their Roblox design. And it's like, haha, yeah, that's my avatar, my Roblox avatar. I can't read the background either, right? Just making little quick, like, quips to connect with the audience and make them laugh. So that not only they have the initial reaction of, wow, this is really cool art, but also, haha, yeah, I get it, and I think it's funny, and I want to share it with others. So, this is what you're doing. Now, the thing is that I think, if you notice, if we go back to Feels, the drawings take a little bit less space than the memes. Right? If you see here, we have all of these space around Beta Sayori to see the memes. We have these ones, and again, we have space to be able to clearly see the memes. Again, here, even though the page is filled, we have 1, 2, 3, 4 drawings. We have space to see the memes and the funny things. Again, space to see the memes. What you've done here is that your drawing takes so much space that the memes, even though they're funny, they're completely covered by your drawing. So I think the impression most people will get, me included, you saw me, right? It's like, oh wow, this is a really creepy Monica. And then you start looking into the background and you go, why is Moise critical there? Or why is she a banana? Right? It's like, it's in a way where I don't know if they're related. I don't know if she's laughing at the memes. I don't know if she's trying to scare me with her memes, right? But I think leaving more space for the memes will help get your point across way easier. So let's do that. Let's do that. Let's rasterize this layer. Cut it. I also see that you added like a shadow to the figure to be able to like see her better against the background. That is something we can do with values. We don't need like a big striking black line. I saw an art of Makima before where you could see her face look normal and the reflection absolutely horrifying. It actually jump scared me because it was so dark you actually had to notice. That one's really good. That's when it comes to horror art, drawing with the values is really, really important because you can do a lot of cool stuff hiding things in your drawing, right? For people to notice and get scared, like you said. Imagine that. The drawing actually jump scared you. That's awesome. And that was just, you know, doing the horrifying face and hiding it behind a dark background. What we would technically, you know, consider what we just talked about, something that you shouldn't look at twice. So it's a little reward for those who actually look closely enough. Back to owls. Layer, new layer. Yeah. Cut. Aha. So yeah, just make your Monica a little bit shorter. Let's keep her in the middle, right? I think we could make her feel better the middle quadrant here. Right? Leaving space, a lot more space that you can use to showcase the memes. Right? But she's still in the middle. So let's do that. Let's just lengthen the drawing a little more from the bottom here so that people can notice her face and stuff, but also have enough space to look at the memes. Yes, I know these are like shadows and stuff. And this is supposed to be like the uniform. I'm getting to it. Her hair here. And the vest. Just elongating it, right? Making it clear that she is Monica Doki Doki's in her jump scare form. And now all we need to do really is just fill out the memes. And we can make them, you know, choose the more important ones. Here, for example, I don't know. I don't remember actually if Moist Critical actually played DDLC, but I think it's kind of a very obscure reference. So, you know, make sure that your memes actually connect with what you want to say. This Monica Banana makes her look funny, right? But for example, you have your friend's messages that say, I want to do unspeakable things to Creeper Monica. I would try to make that like the most visible one ever. And then people can look at Monica, right? And they go, ooh, scary. And then they look at that message sent by your friend. And then they're like, oh, maybe she's surprised, as surprised as am I. Or it's like, oh yeah, I get that too, right? Get that relatability going with your audience and with your memes. Be sure to choose them very, very carefully, right? I don't have the original images. I don't know if you can send them in the chat or something. The main idea would be the same. Just grab the funniest one that you think connects the most. I think Moist Critical plays the DLC. I think so too, but I can't remember. Like, I don't know if something funny happened. What I mean is that I don't know why he's here specifically with Jump Scare Monica, right? I needed to be a little bit more specific, right? Looking back at feels like memes and stuff, drawings with memes. We have... Oh, I can see it in big. Maybe if I zoom in on the page. Yeah, I can. Right? We have, I know kindness exists because I am kind. I hope hope exists because I have hope. I know love exists because I love. Right? It's a very flirty Sayori. So we have one meme that is really visible that connects with the drawing. Sayori is looking at us and she's flirting and she's like, haha, hey, what's up? Right? And we have, I think I'm ready to fall off now. That's, you know, from the own artist, maybe. We have a lot of cute Sayoris around. We have Sayori with Sans over here. We have Superman, because the whole point of this drawing is like hopeful. Like this artist made the drawing that, you know, makes them happy and wants to make others hopeful and look at it and go like, yeah, this is my best drawing and this is so good that, you know, with this meme over here, I think you can't see it very well, but it says, I think I'm ready to fall off now. Right? They're so happy with this drawing and with what communicates that they're ready to never draw like this again. Superman is an icon of hope. Exactly. Right? So just make sure to use your memes. If you're gonna use memes in your drawing the way Feels does it. Like this one, for example, says Friday. But the vast majority of the drawing is like the background and the Sayori that's like an imposter and looks off, right? But it's still a little funny. And it's related to her because it has like the same colors. Why your nubby little hands clipping into your abs, Miss Shrimp? Because I have no abs. They're non-existent. This is only a horror thematic drawing, right? This is another one with memes. We have happy thoughts. We have a lot of doodles that she did of Sayori. We have, I think, this one right here that I'm pointing at with my cursor is like from a meme. I think it's like a funny little dance. I went breakfast, right? But all of these relate to the main focus, which is this corrupted Sayori idea. That one reminds me of Nene from Newgrounds a little. Yeah, for sure. Now this is another one. Everybody loves you, right? We have here, but the main one is right here on the corner and says, I'm always going to be here for you in my world. I won't go anywhere. You don't have to worry about that player. Please stay with me. But it communicates more directly the point of the image, right? We have another one here. We have a lot of drawings of Persona. Like all of them relate to the... This is supposed to be like Feels so. Now, did the stream cut out? Okay, we're back. It's just sometimes the stream, it shows to me that it went out, and I'm not sure. I hope you can tell me in chat. We're back. It did go out. I knew it. I'm looking into getting better internet, guys. I am so sorry. But hopefully for the streams next week, we're gonna have that all sorted out. I think it's because someone in my house is playing League of Legends right now. Not pointing fingers. Not pointing fingers. But yeah, in the end, Aos, for your drawing, you have to choose not only funny memes with your character, but funny memes that talk about what your character is doing, or what you're supposed to communicate with your drawing. In this one, for example, Mexican internet strikes again. I know it. I'm so sorry. You have to choose one topic that you want your drawing to be about, and then you theme all of your memes around it, and you also put focus on the drawing, right? If you wanted to do your topic, for example, like that, when I see it, this banana, you know, it's like funny because it's like, haha, Monica banana, because her skin is yellow in the jump scare form. I would look for memes for that. I would look for memes where jump scare Monica looks funny, right, and not creepy, right? I would look for maybe more Monica bananas. I would look for maybe jump scare Monica with a job application in the back, right? Something like that. Something that's supposed to be jump scary funny. But that's because I decided on that theme. If you wanted to focus on, or well, if you wanted to make your topic like a creepy Monica, jump scare Monica, scary, but scary woman attract me, right? You would put your friend's message right front and center, probably here in this corner, right? So that it's the most visible to people as possible. And then maybe you put other funny memes, like, I don't know, I'm just saying here, like maybe you make a meme where it's like jump scares Monica face on like a bikini model in the back, right? Or maybe you put like a meme that is like Makima from Jujutsu Kaisen, no, Chainsaw Man. I'm so sorry. I have not watched shonen in a long time. Maybe, you know, you put a meme of Makima and Monica, right? And you put a text in the middle that says same person, right? Because we know that Makima uses her womanly charms to manipulate Denji, but she's also a really scary woman. You just make little connections like that. But the main thing would be the two main things that you should keep in mind if you're trying to connect with your audience the way Feels does is, one, make your art and leave enough space for the memes. And two, choose a topic. One main idea. Look at your drawing and think a sentence. What do I want to communicate with this drawing? What is this drawing for? And just stick to that one idea. Because when you start, and this is what happens with what you had. When you start to put many things that are off the subject but not related to your drawing, then it's just like, oh, he filled it with random stuff, right? Or, oh, I don't get why this is funny, right? Like the Monica banana, it is funny, but then it's like, I don't know why there's this big Monica with this expression right here, right? So you have to make sure everything is cohesive and that you have one main idea that you can communicate with both your drawing and your memes. that's why Feels is so good at what they do, because they graph their drawing, they have one main idea, and then they explore that with the memes as well as like an added bonus. Let's look at some more art that has memes. Just since I'm not logged in here, maybe we just Google it. Yeah. More art with memes. More art with memes. Oh, this one, for example, is 2 characters and there's only 1 meme. Okay. And it's like a funny little cat. And the point is that, you know, we have some text. This is my Umfi. And MC is like, why did she call me Umfi, right? In real life. I really hope they won't be not safe for work are showing up on images. Don't worry. I have the filters. The filters for stream. Right? And the whole point, the whole idea of this drawing is Sayori calls MC Umfi in real life, and Umfi is an internet term, And it's weird, right? It's like, why would you do that? So the meme that feels chose for this drawing is of a funny little cat that's just standing there, and it has the expression of like, what? What? Right? And that's what you have to do with your drawing here. You have your Monica drawing. She's like opening her mouth or something. She looks surprised. It's why I said you could go full throttle with your friend's idea that creepy women are scary. Creepy women are hot. And even though she's scary, she's still really attractive to me, right? And you put your friend's message, and like I said, maybe like another meme of Monica jump scare on a bikini, and then comparisons to Makima, things like that, so that your audience can look at it and be like, haha, yeah, I would also be surprised at that, or I totally get it, and I can see why jump scare Monica would be like weirded out by it. But choose one topic for all of your memes, and then make it come together with your drawing. That's my tip for you. Your drawing is really good. It's a really cute jump scare Monica, despite her being jump scare Monica. I really like what you did with the colors and with the light. I wouldn't change anything of that. Just be careful with your message in your drawing. What you want to communicate, what you want people to look at, and what you want people to think when they look at your drawing. All right, my little shrimplings. Thank you so much for joining the stream. Let's change scenes right here. Thank you so much for joining the stream. This is where we will be cutting it short. I'm planning on making this a regular staple on the channel, on the lives for the streams. So if you watch this and you say, oh, you know what, I think I want to hear what chat thinks and what Poppy has to say about my art. Share it in social media, Twitter or Instagram, with the hashtag. I'm doing a hashtag post right now. With the hashtag PoppyHelp, or join the Shrimp Tank Discord. Link in the description right now on this video. Grab the artist role and then jump to the channel of Art Help Submissions to share with me the art that you would like to see featured here on the stream. So far, we have one more art that we're gonna be looking at, and that's MC Sayo Valentine's by Atasoth. Other than that, I'll probably do another one of mine that's very old, and I really hope to see a lot more submissions from you guys. Thank you so much for trusting me, for trusting chat as well, for trusting the stream, and you know, becoming really vulnerable like this. I can see why it can be something really scary. But like I said, this is not to make you feel bad that you're not putting enough time in your drawing. Not at all. This is so we can all learn something new about how digital art works in the social media sphere to make it be seen. All right? So don't feel bad. Thank you so much for being brave and sharing with me and with all of us today your art. I had a lot of fun doing these. It was also really good exercise for me to practice my vision and what I see. You give good advice. Thank you so much, Sonic Maiden. I try. I do my best. It helps me a lot too to train my eye in order to give better tips, a better critique. So very fun. You've been explaining stuff very clearly. Thank you so much, Ducky-san. Thank you so much, Atta. I appreciate it a lot. Not even 4-hour stream. I told you. Turn off the router to make Aegis disconnect. And then what? We will all disconnect. I can't lose my bond with my little shrimplings. I really learned a lot. Thank you so much, Gabe. Thank you so much. I really hope we can all learn some more together. I am looking forward to the next stream. Be on the lookout. This was the last stream of this week. We made it. We made it, Shrimp Nation. We did an entire week of streams. We did it. Oh my god, I can't believe it's been a week already. It's almost 2:30 a.m. for me. No, Gabe, go to sleep. Go to bed after this. Thank you so much for being here. Next stream Monday, 100%. No! We're gonna try to stick to our schedule of Tuesday, Thursday, and Saturday, but the times might change. So stay on the lookout for the schedule. We're gonna be having another art critique stream. We're gonna be having another gaming stream, and then another drawing stream. I think we can stick around with those for now, at least while we check with the community what games they have and what games they would like to play on stream. I am really excited. Maybe, I don't know, we can take a Sunday as well for all of us to come together and play some games together. I'm really looking forward to that. I just need a little bit more time to plan it. Gardic Phone, TKO, oh yeah, all of those good ones. All of the really fun, great ones that are gonna be awesome to stream. And I want to spend time with you guys. Thank you so much, my little shrimplings. Oh, hi, Fumi! I'm so sorry I'm saying goodbye already. With Gardic Phone, you have to look out because there will be people who would be ruining it. Sadly, some love to ruin it for people. That's why we're gonna keep it condensed. I'm gonna be sending the links and stuff to play to people who are verified shrimps in the Discord server. This is the goodbye. It is. I'm so sorry. I'm gonna be looking into making the streams longer. Just have it require Discord login. Oh, I can do that. I'm gonna have to. I'm telling you, there's like so much things I have to look into and set up. But it is coming. Community day, community game for playing is coming. I swear. I'm not lying. Thank you so much, my little shrimplings, for joining. I will catch you all on Tuesday. Stay on the lookout on Monday or maybe Sunday. Sunday if I'm lucky. Sunday if we're all lucky. To share the schedule with you guys so that you can, plan your week maybe around them if you want. if you wanna join, I'd be really happy. Okie dokie. By the way, I'm excited for my collab art special soon. Anyway, bye bye everyone. Bike shrimp princess. Stay rave, stay shrimp. Thank you so much again for joining. I will catch you on Tuesday. Stay on the lookout for the schedule. Join the shrimp tank today. Link in the description for Discord. Use the hashtags. Let's make the shrimp tank bigger. Thank you so much for an awesome first streaming week. All of my little shrimplings, my shrimp siblings. Thank you so much. Thank you. Bye bye.